Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Swiss Cube draft. Not a very exciting first pack, nothing super broken. Um, yeah, nothing too exciting, honestly. Kind of don't want to first pick a multicolor card, but I am a big Edric fan. I mean, there's some burn spells. Stoke the Flames being the better option since it's one color. Um, yeah, nothing too exciting here. I think I'm just going to take Grave Titan, which is a good control finisher, or maybe a card to ramp to. I mean, you get a lot of value for 6 mana. Just really nothing else here that excites me. So, alright, Grave Titan it is. Okay, follow-up pick. Well, there's a Deceiver Exarch if I want to go combo again. Like I said, I think Deceiver Exarch and Pestermite are probably the harder cards to get. I would think Kiki Jiki and Splinter Twin, well, they should both go late, I guess, so maybe that's not true. But, I mean, it's once again, it's kind of an unexciting pack. There's a little bit of ramp, a little bit of card draw. There's some lands, neither of which are in black. Disciples, you know, fine enough card, but not very exciting. Isochron Scepter's kind of cool. I think I'm going to take Exarch. I mean, if I can make the combo work, again, that would be ideal. But if not, I don't mind taking an Exarch. It's certainly a fine card. Okay, so now there's, let's see. Couple decent black cards. Arena seems pretty decent. There's another land. There's a negate, which I think I like quite a bit. It's a hard counter for a lot of good things. There's a Psychotog, which I guess, you know, goes in the blue-black deck of some sort, but... And there's also a Duplicant, which is removal, but if we do end up in black, that's not going to be a big deal. Or if we end up in the red combo deck, again, I'm probably just going to want the negate for spell protection. When in blue, play counter spells. That's usually my rule of thumb. Okay, well, there's Masker Worm here. There's a Serum Visions, which is not a Preordain or a Ponder. Seagate Oracle's okay. Blocker plus card advantage. Or, you know, another card. Cantrips at the very least. A little bit better than Cantrip. There's also a Dissipate, which is a hard counter. Not the most exciting pick. Serum Visions is something to do early, I guess, which is nice. I think I'm just going to take the Dissipate. Because there's no land here that I'm interested in. There's just no land. There's no cards I'm really interested in. These have been kind of interesting first few packs. I haven't seen anything too nuts. Interesting. Let's see. There's a Dismiss. There's an Overgrown Tomb. I think I'm just going to take the Dismiss. Continue picking blue cards, counter spells off. I do like counter spells a lot in Cube, especially Legacy Cube, because you can usually have more time to get to the mana to cast them. But taking a lot of flash creatures with counter spells is pretty desirable. And if we can make the combo work, obviously that's ideal. Legacy's Allure, we seem deep enough in blue where Legacy's Allure is a fine card. It lets you steal their guys. There's also an Electrolyze, though, which I may want, especially if I end up in red combo. Legacy's Allure is interesting. It's one of those cards that's kind of worthless, though, and if you don't play it early. It does work well with Devotion, I guess. I think I'm going to take Electrolyze. Not that this card's all that nutty in this format, but it gives you some aggro protection. And like I said, if I end up in red, I'm probably going to want some good instant speed removal. Interesting. I think I'm just going to take the Steam Vince here, with the idea being that I'm going to make some sort of Deceiver Exarch combo work again, or make a nice blue counterspell, blue-red counter deck. All right, like Young Pyromancer's fine. Forbid's pretty interesting. Johnny Vengeance is a great card. I could go America colors, possibly. Far and Away is good. If you're in black, we kind of feeling like I'd rather make the Deceiver Exarch work than an awesome 6-drop. Let's take the Pyromancer. I mean, Pyromancer is going to be a beast if we don't end up in combo. Just being blue-red counterspell with Pyromancer is pretty sick, too. Turn off their spells while building Elemental Army. Stoke the Flame's good, but I kind of am tempted to go Impulse once again, with the idea being that we're a combo of some sort, or finding counterspells can be really beneficial. I mean, counter burn is technically a thing, but I'm not a big fan of it. Neonate's not really what I'm looking for. Scepter only does, well, it does instants. All right. I guess I could imprint and negate, or if I get counter spells, that technically could work out. So, okay. Delver is actually starting to look like a Delver deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells already that trigger it. We're just in pack 1, so okay. I can get behind a Delver. Let's take the Massacre Worm, I guess. None of these other things really interest me. Vapors is probably fine. I think I'm just going to take the Tomb. I don't know why, though. I don't really need it. But the lands seem more valuable than spells at the moment, considering I have this sort of preconceived notion about what I want to play. All right. Well, some pretty late black cards, no doubt. But I'm still thinking I'm going to be able to make, if not a Deceiver Exarch combo deck, some sort of counter control deck work. So there's a Breeding Pool. There's a Chandra's Phoenix, but unless you have burn spells, that doesn't really work with what we're trying to do. There's a Top here, though, which really gets better if I have shuffle effects, but it's still early enough where I could find some. There's also a Solemn, but... And there's an Old Man of the Sea, too, which is actually okay. I think. I don't know how good it is in this cube yet, but I think we're just going to go Top. It's something to do early, and it finds me good draws early, too, which I think is good. Oh, no. Looks like I'm missing a pick, perhaps. I don't know what happened exactly, but I am back now, and... for how long, who knows? So I guess we'll find out. I missed a pick, clearly, because I have a Dreadbore. I think I got the Scalding Tarn. I don't know, though. I'm hoping I didn't just disconnect again, but I guess we'll have to see what happens. All right, I believe we're back. I'm hoping we're back at the very least. Here's a Thassa. I would say... Well, the problem with Thassa is we don't actually have a lot of devotion cards. It still might be the pick, and then I just have to find some devotion cards, although I guess I'm not a huge fan of that. I might just want the Mana Leak, get some more counter magic. Thassa is certainly a good way to finish, and it scries, but... Like I said, if I don't have devotion, it's like a think tank sort of thing, where it does some good things for us, but maybe not enough. But do I need a Mana Leak? I guess I would like a Mana Leak. I want some control magic. I guess I take the leak, but well, Thassa's got enough upside, especially if I'm like borderline mono blue. So I guess it's worth taking over the counterspell. But like I said, if I don't end up with enough blue devotion, it's going to be pretty bad. All right, there's a fetch, which finds our Scalding Tarns. There's also an Ancestral Vision, which is really good on turn 1, not so good on turn 4. It is card advantage, though. Dungeon Geist gives us 2 Devotion, but I might table it. I don't know how I feel about Ancestral. Like I said, it's one of those cards that's bad to top deck, but good early. I guess we have Impulse to like get rid of it if we don't have it in our opening hand. I mean, probably just take it. Another way to flip Delver at least. And it's something to do early. Did I lose that? Okay, so I lost my Sensei's Divining Top, even though I picked it. It took a Dreadbore over it, but can't do anything about that. Muldrifter's pretty awesome. There's Basalt Monolith, but that's not really what this deck wants to do. We probably just take the Keranos, actually. Gives us a little bit of devotion, and more importantly, does some cool stuff that I mean, it's a way to finish your opponent, to be sure. We'll take it. Okay, there's a Chain Lightning, but it's not exactly what I want to do with this deck. Sakashima's Student seems okay. I like clone effects in Control. Yeah, I guess we'll take it. Still have yet to find the Exarch combo pieces. I may actually want Chrome Mox here. Blue-red doesn't really have ramp. There's also Cyclonic Rift, which is pretty cool to have. A bounce effect especially. But I think I actually want this Chrome Mox. There's really not a lot of ramp effects in this format. That aren't in green, I should say. And Chrome Mox is one of the few ones. Yes, it's like card disadvantage, but it really lets you get ahead on the board quick. I may even count it as a land. I'm not exactly sure yet. Here's our Pestermite, so we'll take that. Second of the same set of combo pieces. So now we just need the Kiki Jiki or Splinter Twin, and we at least are full-fledged combo again. Slightly different approach this time, since we don't have board wipe spells, but I do feel as though Kiki Jiki's not a highly desirable pick. And now that we have the Exarch and the Pestermite, I think that's doubly so. Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki are just not going to be highly desirable to people. I think we're going to take Old Man of the Sea here for a couple reasons. Solemn is, I think, just a better card, but Old Man fuels our Thassa Devotion and our Keranos Devotion. Not that these need devotion to at least give us some abilities, but Old Man also does some good work against aggressive decks. And that's another argument for the Student too, I guess. Or does it take, I guess when you copy a creature, it takes their, I assume it takes their mana cost too, I guess. Let's take the Mire here. It can actually search up the Steam Vents, which is kind of nice. None of this is super appealing to me. Don't think we're likely to play a Rakish Air. Bone Splitter's something, but not really what I want. Guess I'll just take it anyway. I'm not going to play it, but otherwise I'm just hate picking, I guess. I think I'll take a Keeper. It's a pretty annoying card to deal with, although maybe Ratchet Bomb, actually. Ratchet Bomb's something I can do against the token decks, so I'll take that. Skullcrack, not really what I'm looking for. Maybe Tech Edge. I just don't feel like I need Skullcrack. I'm not a burn deck. I'm still hoping to be a combo deck of some sort, if possible. Admitted, we need a Kiki Jiki or a Splinter Twin out of this pack, or else we're just not going to make the deck happen combo-wise. But I'm fairly confident I should be able to find those. Well, I think the strongest card here is Upheaval. Our problem is we're not going to be able to play Upheaval very effectively, I don't think. It's still the most powerful card by a landslide. Problem with it in our deck is we have no ramp. It really is a deck or a card built for blue-green. they get massive amounts of ramp, and then, I mean, I can take it anyway. I'm giving up like a City of Brass as another pick just to make our mana slightly better, but that will make a difference, I guess, if I end up with Kiki Jiki. But I also, if I'm control, I can't afford to be tapping and taking a bunch of damage because I'm already going to be sort of behind trying to play catch up. I think I'm just going to take Upheaval. It'd be really difficult for me to even find a way to really make that work in this deck, but I'll take it anyway. Phoenix, not really that good. I think we can take Izzet Charm. It's at least some removal. It's versatile. There's Lightning Greaves, I guess, which is interesting, but... And there's a Tradewind Rider, but which is actually kind of cool with the Pyromancer. But I'm going to take the Izzet Charm. It's just some more good control. So we've got the control base down, just need the second half of the combo, and we've got ourselves a pretty fine looking deck. You know, Kiln Fiend is actually kind of interesting because we have all these instants and sorceries, but the problem is you're always playing, you're going to be playing counter spells on your opponent's turn, not your turn, so the pump is kind of moot. Let's just take the Epiphany, which is more good fixing. There's a Bonfire, which is actually some pretty reasonable protection. Mesa can also find our Steam Vents. Here's a Teferi, which I may want. There's also a Bonfire. Teferi is certainly a better card with all our counter spells. Although, what are all the counter spells we ended up with? Impulse, Negate, Dissipate, Izzet Charm, Dismiss. It's a decent amount, but it's honestly not like a ridiculous amount. I think the most important part about Teferi in this deck is Keranos and Thassa Devotion. It's just too much devotion to pass up on. Alright, I am actually a fan of Force Spike, but Augur may be the pick because we can find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things on it currently. I'm actually a big fan of Force Spike. There's also Crater's Claws. I doubt we get Ferocious online. There's an Ashcloud Phoenix, which is maybe an okay finisher too. Doesn't go away very easily. I think I'm actually going to take Force Spike. I'm actually a big fan of this card in general, and I don't mind having extra counter spells either. Force Spike is a card people very seldom play around, which I think makes it really good. Talrand, this might be a Talrand deck if we can't make this. There's also a Dual Caster Mage, but that doesn't work. That works better for Burn. And there's a Remand, which is a very good card, and an Anger, which is a good board wipe spell. I'm kind of feeling Talrand. If we don't end up with enough, it gives us double devotion, but we have all these spells, and we don't have a lot of value off of them. So I kind of want to have a Talrand because every counterspell turns into a Drake, which is kind of nice. I do want the Remand as well, but I kind of feel like the deck might need the Talrand a little bit more. Usually not a very exciting card, but this deck kind of needs it. I guess here, I mean, Hero, whatever. I think we'll take the Magpie. Double blue devotion and draws you cards, I guess, so why not? Really, I think we've run out of time on Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki. Could be someone got the other two pieces. Here's an Ashiok, which is just a really good card in this format. And there's nothing else here, so might take it and play it. Although, we only have a Bloodstained Mire. I could probably just... And a... Oh, Chromox doesn't work with that, that's right. Well, we have a Bloodstained Mire, though. That's decent. Overgrown Tomb, which cannot be found with any of our other... If I'd gotten Misty, I would have been able to fix for Ashiok that way, too, I guess. Let's see. None of these cards really matter. Guess we'll hate a Quarter Paladin, which might be the best against us because it's so aggressive. So Kiki Jiki's just not going to happen, sadly. So we're playing Pestermite and Deceiver Exarch as flash creatures. It's pretty unexciting. Well, sometimes the combo doesn't work out. I'm sure there's one guy on the other side that's really unhappy with his Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki right now, though. I'll tell you that much. I guess I can take a Phoenix. I don't really need a Greaves so much, I guess. I don't really need a Phoenix either, to be honest. None of these cards matter too much either. Guess I can take a Kiln Fiend, but like I said, I'm playing counterspells on my opponent's turn, so I really don't know how I'm going to make Kiln Fiend work. Maybe I can make Shieldred work. That's a pretty greedy mana base, though. Maybe I take it anyway. I'm just really not going to play a Kiln Fiend. There might be some situation that I make a black deck, pull a black deck out of this somehow. Here's a Bonfire. That's pretty helpful. Spellskite, yeah, that's usually the card you want with Pestermite and Deceiver Exarch. The problem with this one being it doesn't do anything for us because they don't matter if they're protected. Maybe I just play them because they're so desirable to kill. Let's take Ashcloud Phoenix. I'm low enough on ways to kill my opponent where I might want it. And I guess a Dualcaster Mage might be something. Not likely to play that, or the hero for that matter. All right, well, I think we are playing Ashiok. And I don't think we're playing hero, although it does have good synergy with Pyromancer. So we didn't manage to make the combo work. I don't think we're playing Dualcaster Mage. Like I said, that's better with actual burn cards, not counter spells. It is double red devotion for Keranos, but I'm not going to worry about that. What's the ninjutsu cost on this? It's only 2. It's not too bad. Do you think we want the Ashcloud Phoenix? That's a reasonable finisher. And it can like trade with something. It's hard to kill. Isochron's Scepter currently exiles Izzet Charm, Impulse, or Negate. So I can deal 2 damage to something or counter spell. I mean, pretty versatile with Izzet Charm's probably the best one with it. Impulse is okay with it. Negate's okay with it. But I don't think I'm going to run Isochron in this deck. I'm not really feeling it. Although I guess I can also do a Force Spike or an Ancestral. Force Spike seems like a waste. And Ancestral... Actually, Ancestral's kind of interesting. I don't have to suspend it. It's free. That's actually pretty good. But still, only having 5 actual spells that I can even hit with it seems dramatically low. Although I do like it with Ancestral. That's pretty interesting. We're going to play Chrome Mox as our 17th land. I don't think we're doing Tech Edge if we're going on this whole... I think we can get away with... we can get away with 1 Swamp Bloodstained Mire. Bloodstained Mire can find our Steam Vents or our Swamp that way, which I like. I wish Scalding Tarn could find... There might have been a land I missed that would have helped with that, but not a very good deck, unfortunately. Just not a very good deck. I don't even think I want this Flamewake Phoenix. I probably want to do something better than that. Guess I could do Upheaval, but this is not an Upheaval deck at all. Pestermite and Deceiver Exarch are going to be pretty underwhelming. I think the good news is we have a fair amount of devotion. We have some good double devotion in our 4-drop slot. We have at least a Bonfire in terms of removal and an Izzet Charm, but other than that, it's all counter spells. I guess we have Electrolyze. So very low removal count. This deck is not very good, unfortunately. But I was banking on seeing at least one of the other combo pieces, as my opponent who picked up the Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki is thinking, I'm sure. I kind of want a 23rd card rather than and I don't really want to count Chrome Mox as a card. I'd much rather count it as a land because our curve is not really that crazy. We don't have a lot of expensive stuff. I could go straight 3-color, or I could go blue-black, cut the red plan completely, and just bring in like Massacre Worm, Grave Titan. Let's see what if I have all this red fixing is the problem, so there's really no incentive to run black, at least based on my mana base. I actually don't mind running Shield Red and maybe like a couple extra swamps. Our mana base isn't fantastic, though. There's also a Dreadbore, I guess, which if I'm splashing black is an option. Our black splash is going to be pretty difficult, though, beyond Ashiok, I think. I probably just want to do one Swamp Bloodstained Mire for one card. So what's our final card? I mean, Upheaval's the strongest, but like I said, this is not an Upheaval deck at all. Shieldred is pretty big. That's a big dude. I'd almost maybe rather splash for Grave Titan because it does so much more work on the front end. Like even if they have removal for it, you get some dudes. I still feel like I'd have to run too many swamps to get double black. Slaughter Pact seems awkward on the splash. Dualcaster Mage doesn't seem that good. Guess I could do Hero, but this really isn't a Hero deck either. Although, I mean, it's got synergies with Talrand and Young Pyromancer, but not enough to excite me. Wish our 23rd card was a Sensei's Divining Top, huh? That'd be nice. Yeah, I really can't decide the 23rd card here. Maybe I do Scepter. I don't like it, though. If I had more stuff to do with it. Guess I could play Hero. Not very good. Could play Tech Edge as a land destruction spell as my 23rd card. And that way I am running 18 lands, but Tech Edge is like land removal for pesky lands, of which I don't know all of which exist in this format, but I imagine there's some. Ratchet Bomb's kind of slow in the main deck. It seems wrong. Bone Splitter is fine, but not really what this deck wants. I may just play the Tech Edge, I guess. It's not very exciting. Could, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just going to play the Tech Edge, see if that pans out for us as our 23rd card, because Chrome Mox is like, or like, we're playing it as like a spell rather than a land. Land destruction is so unexciting, but there's really just nothing as a 23rd card that excites me here. All right, well, I guess we're running it like this. Overall, I'd rate this deck like 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's about a 5 out of 10, so it's definitely one of the weakest decks I've drafted in a while. So we were really hoping to hit that combo and did not hit it, which means our main win conditions are going to be Thassa, Keranos, Talrand, and Young Pyromancer, and hope to maximize the usage of those. So I need one. How much blue versus how much red? We definitely want more blue than red. Yeah. All right. We only need double red for Ashcloud Phoenix, and guess that's it, huh? All right. Well, maybe I can get away with more black then. I'm running low on time. All right, I'm gonna cut Tech Edge. I'm gonna run Grave Titan. I'm going to run less red than I was before and more black. So this would be 11 blue, which I think is unnecessary. I think we can go to 10. We can probably go up to maybe we go down to 9. And this way it's 7 red, 4 ways to get black. I really want 5, I guess, to get double for the Grave Titan. I don't know about going down to 8 blue, though. Jeez. This deck's a mess. Guess I'm going to... No, it's 9. So 9 blue, 7 red, 5 black. All right. This deck is officially a mess. This deck is a mess, and a not very sexy mess at that. So, yeah. I think we'd be lucky to win a draft with this, to say the least. But we're going to try our best. So we'll see you round 1.